guys, it's Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and I'm bringing you the April reading 2017. I would like to start off with just all the wonderful things that are happening in April. So the 1st of April, as we know, is April Fool's Day, but it's also the Dark Mother's Day. So being able to start to clear things out that you no longer need because Easter is coming, we're in springtime, and it's time to, you know, that time of renewal, time for starting all over or moving on to the next level for many of us. On the 7th, we have the Feast of Blajini. On the 8th, we have the Day of Mooncakes. On the 9th, we go into Mercury retrograde, y'all, and that goes until May 3rd. And at the same time, we'll also still be in our Venus retrograde. On the 11th, we have a full moon in Libra. And Libra happens to be my moon sign, so that should be interesting. And it's also known as the wind moon at that time. On the 15th, we'll finally be out of our Venus retrograde. On the 16th, we have Easter. On the 23rd, we have the Festival of the Green Man. On the 25th, we have the Spring Festival. Yay! And on the 26th, we have a new moon in Taurus. The 28th, we have the Festival of Flora. And the 30th, we have May Eve. So a jam-packed April for us, and I am so looking forward to it. That's also when we have 2 weeks off for the school that I work at, so we will be in a nice spring break. So the first thing I like to do is I like to start off with an oracle card, and then I usually use tarot cards to go into the different areas of our life, which is health, wealth, family relationships, and then career creativity. But this time I really felt drawn to go with oracle cards for all those things, you know, as well as the oracle card that I draw at the very beginning. But before we go into that, I would like to pull out the stone that I'm drawn to for the month of April, and this is my Black Moonstone. So I don't know if you guys can see since it's pretty sunny out, but it does have that beautiful flash to it. And I don't know, I just, it feels like this is going to be a really intuitive month where we're really looking into our psyche and ourselves, kind of figuring out patterns in our lives, why we're doing certain things, why we've headed certain directions, and really starting to shine a spotlight on that. And that just really feels like what's going to be going on in the month of April. And what's really at least going to help me with that is my Black Moonstone. Let's go ahead and pull an oracle card, even though we're going to use all oracle cards for this. The deck that I'm going to be using for kind of the overall theme of this reading, and again, this is a general reading. If you wanted a more personalized reading, don't forget to check out the information box below so we could set up a little one-on-one. But I am using the Aini Oracle, and this is a deck that I got off of Etsy, and it's been fantabulous. Let's go ahead and pull our overall theme, the overarching theme for April. Maybe I'll do a shuffle like this. Cards are kind of big. And I'm so happy. It's such a nice sunny day today. It kind of started off kind of gloomy and all that, but goodbye gloom. Hello sun. All right. Okay, so the card that I got. So it is an oracle deck. It doesn't have too many meanings attached to it. It's really meant to be used intuitively, which is why I love this deck. The first few cards are kind of set up so they're meant to be more kind of like the major arcana, but I don't really read it that way. So in this kind of overall theme for April, we have the yin yang, we have, you know, all these trees and things like that, and it looks like we're gonna really need to, you know, like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of like intuitive work, kind of looking into ourselves, finding patterns, why we're doing certain things, and that'll help create a balance. You know, I see yin yang as being a balance of the light and the dark, you know, doing your shadow work, but also doing your light work as well. And then all the foliage is reminding me to become grounded and possibly go out into nature. You know, nature is blooming in my backyard right now. So yes, definitely, as you guys are doing your inner work, don't forget to also do your light work. And just keep yourselves grounded. Sometimes, as we're doing light work or whatever, we're like, woo, we're off in the ethers. But do things that'll keep you grounded. Put your feet in the sand, put your hands in the dirt, go hug a tree, literally. Just get out there. And if you're in a place where it's snowed in, snow is nature. Even if you have to just go trek outside and throw a snowball quickly at somebody, go have at it. So that's kind of our overall theme for April, which I think is wonderful. The deck that I'm going to be using for health, wealth, family relationships, career, creativity is Vix's New Age Hipster Insta Oracle, and I've been loving this. I've been really connecting with this deck, which is why I want to use it for the April reading. Okay, so let me just go ahead and pull all the cards first, and then we'll have a look-see. Okay, so we have health. Just putting the intention in that anybody who's watching this, gets something out of it. And if something doesn't resonate with you, don't try to force it. Just move on to something else that does. Okay, so we have health, wealth, family relationships. Ooh, there we go. And I'm going to put my stone on top so these don't blow away. And the last one, oops, there it goes. That is career, creativity. Okay, so let's look at health. You guys like it? Vacay. So in April, especially, many people that have kids, obviously their spring breaks are going to be happening around that time. But not everybody works at a school, not everybody's a student, and so not everybody gets a spring break. However, that doesn't mean that you aren't so inclined to have one. Many times, especially here in the United States, it's like if you take a vacation, you're somehow seen as lazy. Oh, well, and people like to brag about how much they work. Well, I work, 70 hours a week. I work 80 hours a week, and I haven't had a break in 25 years. And, I don't ever take sick days. You work through sickness and things like that. To me, I never quite understood that concept. I do understand the concept of hard work. I do know what it means to really put your nose to the grindstone. I do know what it means to have sleepless nights, and I do know that, but I don't think that boasting about that as some sort of badge of honor is somehow it makes you so much better than somebody else who is only working 40 hours a week. You work as much as you need to, but you also have to take time for yourself, because then why are you working? What's the point of working 8 hours a week and you haven't had a break in 25 years if by the time you retire you drop dead because you haven't given your body that time. So what I'm really hearing here for April is just take a break, even if you have to cut off work early and just take a half day, even if you take a 3-day weekend break, take a Friday off or a Monday off or something like that. It doesn't have to be an entire week. But just take some time off for yourself so that maybe you can stay home and read a book. Maybe you can go on a hike. You can go to the beach with your kids for a day or something like that. Whatever it is, give yourself time to refuel and recharge. Sometimes the refueling that we get, in our 8 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, some people 4 hours of sleep, isn't enough to keep us going day after day. And especially if you have other obligations besides your main job, you've got side jobs, you have a family member that you're taking care of, you need that break. So vacay, all right? And I think that applies to a lot of people this month, so that message was for a lot of folks out there. Okay, the next one is wealth, unexpected Pegasus. So what I'm seeing with this one is that there might be some money that we haven't we're not really expecting that might come trickling in. It might be, especially since April is tax month, maybe people are going to be getting a bigger tax return than they thought. It might be, especially like with my car insurance. I don't remember the month it is when sometimes they send you it's the end of that insurance cycle, and usually they send you like some money. It's like $50 or $60 and saying, oh, we're, cut our rates and this is, the money that you get back. So it could be a little something like that where you're just not expecting some cash to come rolling in. I'm not saying you guys are going to hit the lottery. If you do, let me know, and that'd be pretty awesome. Not that I want to hit you up for money, but that's, hey, cool for you, but I'm just seeing like, some unexpected little sources of money come trickling in, and especially to those who are maybe struggling with money, even though it might not be a whole lot that unexpectedly just shows up. Maybe you find a $20 bill on the ground. It's just something that the universe is letting you know that, hey, you're not alone. We understand, you might be going through a difficult time or whatever, and we got your back. So just don't worry about it. So whatever you do find, maybe even if it's just $1 on the ground, hey, that's cool. It's like $1 you didn't have before. So expect that coming in April. Okay, family / relationships. These just make me all laugh. I love Vix's cards. But here we have curiosities. So it might be an interesting time with family. Things might be a little awkward, I think, at times for some people. And what I'm hearing is just stay your course. No matter how weird things get, in relationships with friends and relationships with family, whatever it may be, sometimes people just like to throw their drama onto you, and they want you to, have a little back and forth. They want you to kind of get into the drama with them. It's okay to be supportive of family and friends, especially if they're in need, but it's not okay to get sucked into it to where you become no help. You just become part of the drama. So I'm hearing just to take a little bit of a step back, as things might get a little weird this month. Okay, then what I have for career passions or creativity is walk. So that kind of just like hit me in the heart, because that's something, this is resonating with something that I've been thinking about for my own career, but what I'm hearing for other people too, as well as, it's like in one ear I'm hearing stuff that I need to hear for me, and in another ear I'm hearing stuff that I need to hear for you guys. So it's like, stop talking at the same time. But what I hear for a walk is, sometimes we jump into careers or we do things because it's what's expected of us, but it may not have been our passion. Or maybe we just do it because, it makes the money. And I'll give you my father for instance. I had no idea that my dad wanted to be a chef until he told me this, like, it was a couple of years after he retired. And by the way, April 5th, he's going to be 77 years old. And it's awesome because my dad still has a six-pack. My dad, he still weightlifts like crazy. And, people don't think that he's, maybe a hair over 59, 60 years old, which is pretty cool. I hope that holds true for me when I'm old. Old-ish. Okay, so my father, a few years after he retired, I don't know, some random conversation, and he said that he had wanted to be a chef. That when he was in community college, taking bunches of different classes, he was taking classes to be a chef, and his whole dream was to be one of those traveling chefs where that he would get hired for parties and he'd be able to do fun tricks, like light the lemon peel on fire and watch it spiral up, that he had always wanted to do something like that. And then I said, well, why'd you become a truck driver? And he said, well, I barely finished high school, and he says, and I was going to school at the time, at a community college, and he says, and your mother wanted to get married, and she didn't want me to finish my schooling, and he says, and she wanted to have kids, and he goes, so I had to have a job like right away, paying for everything, and he just kind of found a job and he worked at it basically until he retired. You know, I mean, he did really well in the job. He, you know, got paid very well. He had like, he was one of like the top drivers. He had like 0 accidents and things like that. You know, so he excelled at the job that he had, but it just wasn't his dream. And now I'm like, well, why don't you, I mean, while you're sitting on your butt in retirement, why don't you like go like back to school to be a chef? And he's like, oh, it's too late now. He goes, that's kind of why I want you to, you know, follow what you do. And he says, and I'll always support you, whatever it is that you want to do. So what I'm hearing is, you know, go take a walk, go journal, and really find out if what you're doing is what you're meant to be doing. I know that we all need to make money and that we all have to pay our bills. Maybe this doesn't have to be a main job. Maybe it could be a side job, because Lord knows I have a lot of side jobs. But don't not do something because you think, oh, well, nobody's going to appreciate it. Nobody's going to understand it. Nobody's going to like it. Nobody would pay money for that. Or, I mean, who cares? If it's your passion, it's your passion. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy. You know, maybe, yes, find a job that pays the bills, but maybe on the side, work on your passion. Who knows? Other people might like it too, and that might eventually be your main job. So that's what I'm getting for that. Okay, so that's it for me. That is the April reading. And again, if you would like to get hooked up with a reading for me, please check out the information box below. It has a link to my website. It has a link to my Etsy page, which has a lot more different types of readings. And we have a couple of new readings on there. One of them is the past gym life reading. So it was like, what kind of weightlifter were you? Well, basically, it's just a past life reading, which I've really been getting into, and people really seem to be resonating with those types of readings. I also have the Rainbow Bridge reading, so those of you that have lost a furry, scaly, feathery, you know, loved one, I'm more than happy to help you connect with that pet. And I found that that's something that I'm actually fairly adept at. You know, after losing a pet of my own, I found out that that's something that I was able to do, and that I feel really good about helping people with that. So, all right. So I will see you guys next month. In between, I'll see you guys with the vlogginess. I'm finishing up the hashtag Tarot Nerds Challenge on my channel. And that should be finishing up on the 31st. If you head over to my Instagram page, I'm doing the hashtag Create This Oracle deck, and it's just like drawing. There's like a prompt for every day, and you like kind of draw a picture for it. And so at the end of 30 days, you should have like 30 pictures to kind of create your own Oracle deck. So it's a lot of fun. You know, definitely go check it out. All right. So I wish you guys much health, much wealth, much love, and many blessings for the month of April. All right, I'll see you homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.